from a middle class family, your mindset is that you should become employable. It's all about your education, your effort, your focus is on becoming employable, acquiring the skill set which will get you employment. I am a small town boy. Father was working for Tata Steel. He was in the mining area, what is the jungle area, a place called Normandy, which you would have difficulty in locating on the map also. The small town thing keeps you grounded, keeps you connected, because we had people from across the country staying there. All Tata Steel townships, for that matter, are very cosmopolitan.
Okay.
What you use for your metro cities.
Right.
We were cosmo way back. way back.
The sea is actually for the strong-hearted, and as far as I know, this is the seafarer's job is classified as one of the world's riskiest job, right? How risky is it?
God forbid you had a small pinhole. The spray would go up in the sky to reach the moon. So just imagine, and with this, the paranoia of oil pollution and all that is so much, you can't risk it.
You know what is happening right now? An MBA is coming in with immediate effect. They want to do a cost saving.
Yes.
They are not coming in with a long-term effect of building more, to earn more revenue, earn more profits. No, they are looking at how to reduce the cost and show the organization that I have somehow fulfilled my cost.
To start with, in command, I was mostly on oil and chemical vessels. Now, unfortunately, oil and chemical business does not have too much of a scope when you are stepping ashore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's a very limited thing. See, the word stevedore itself is a Portuguese word. So it is an stevedore. Stevedore means to put something into a bigger package. So this stevedoring word as such would mean that, somebody who will handle the cargo, offload it, unload it. Slowly what happened when, initially it was all annual. So the idea of the stevedore would be a company, and this would be basically run by the laborers who are physically strong.
Customs house agency or customs broker who will represent the shipper or the consignee. Shipper is somebody who sends the cargo, consignee is somebody who receives the cargo. So CHA acts as the middle layer to let the customs of India know what you're bringing in. The US tariff that's happening right now.
It is not an option, right? 20 years back, you decided unilaterally that the world should be one place and we should remove all the tariffs and all, right?
Correct.
It was the same Americans who were championing all this, right? So whenever it suits you, you will play football. When it suits you, you'll start playing cricket. What is it? I am supposed to play catch up with you all the time?
I have a different perspective to this. I feel.
But again, I'm not an economist, but what I understand of it, it is not that simple. What has happened is the American economy lost the plot 20 years back, and they started, the day they delinked the dollar from the gold, the plot was lost, right? What is happening now is that, again, one more thing I'll add here. See, after the World War II, if you look at the three big economies who came up fast, one was Japan, then South Korea, and Germany. South Korea, after the 3-year Korean War, from 1950 to 53, the war was fought. Korea was literally bankrupt and poor and nothing was there. Right? Americans invested and they used it as a hub and they made it grow.
Welcome to Podcast with Sai. This podcast is all about shipping, logistics, and how the industry works. I am Sai, and I am here to share insights and stories from the world of shipping.
Here we have Captain Amarendra Mishra along with me, who is the current country head of Bahri Lines in India. Welcome, Captain. Welcome to my show.
Thanks a lot for having me here. It's an honor. It's always
my pleasure
to be with you. Let's see. Let's have fun.
Yes, let's keep it rolling. Okay, so Captain, let's start with where you started. So let's see what driven you at 19 years old lad to get into or to become a seafarer.
Fine. Okay. So let us start from the beginning then. To start off with, I am a small town boy, to be specific about it. Small town would mean that my father was working for Tata Steel. He was in the mining area, what is the jungle area, a place called Normandy, which you would have difficulty in locating on the map also. That place is having the best grade of iron ore on earth.
Wow,
right?
Okay.
And I recollect as child, we were living in the camp of something around 2,000 people altogether. right? But we had a wonderful life there. And my brush with cargo, logistics, and movement started there. As a kid, when all in other locations in India, everybody will have their own kinds of local sports and local games. In our area, we used to see those big BEML dumpers fully loaded with iron ore moving.
I
and
get
all.
it.
So our aspiration and our awe was, wow, this is so big. Wow, it can load so much. So, as a kid, I recollect, I used to have a yellow color plastic dumper with a wheel, those black wheels, nothing on it. And me and my brother used to compete who can load how much. The trick was you load and you need to pull it over a distance and see and how. So it was you can say it was a fool tomfoolery around or child's play, but it was always in the back of the mind.
You were operating a bulk vessel back then.
Yes. And interestingly, we used to see a lot of equipment being imported over there and how they will wait at the gate for offloading and all. And Tata Steel per se has safety, environment friendliness way back, not today, way back. So all those collectively has got into the psyche, Today, whatever I am is a collective, outcome of all that. Despite being in a remote area, our education and all was also of the highest level. Not because of, it was because the teachers were the same people, our uncles and aunts and all in that place. It was very difficult to get a teacher. So it was the best level of home tutoring or something which you could get, That was the kind of initial upbringing which I had. Right?
Okay.
And that went a long way in shaping the way I think, the way I am, the person I am. So, that the small town thing keeps you grounded, keeps you connected, because we had people from across the country staying there. All Tata Steel townships, for that matter, are, very cosmopolitan, What you use for your metro cities.
Right.
We were cosmo way back. way back. We knew the culture. I myself speak around 6-7 languages.
Wow. Okay.
My brother speaks around 8-10 languages. So it's like that,
Was it because you all had those kind of people around you?
Yes, because my immediate neighbor was an Oriya person. On top, I had somebody from Andhra. My friends in school were from Tamil Nadu, from Rajasthan, from that hilly areas of Assam and all also.
Oh.
So it was a wonderful mix. And, when you are having tiffin in school, would be like having a spread. So, you are already aware of the cultural sensitivities, that is something which needs to be taught to people today. And I personally feel that should be brought into the curriculum, because as a society, we are unable to educate this to our children.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
That, we have to, speak about inclusivity and all that. It was already there. You cannot do without your neighbor. You are living in a godforsaken place. If ever you land up in trouble, it's a neighbor.
Correct.
If my parents have to go out, I'll be eating at my neighbor's house. Done. Irrespective of what state or wherever they are from, it's okay. That is the food you're going to get. So and you enjoy the taste.
Even 15-20 years ago, or like 25 years ago, neighbors were the first people whom you always reach out to for anything, any help, any support.
Exactly.
And I still remember having food with my neighbors, food at neighbor's house. Even not even reporting to our parents saying that we are having it. That was a liberty back then. I think now it's all gone. I don't see that happening.
Very true.
Anyway, so coming back to why
yes.
Seafaring.
So what happens, again, from a middle class family, your mindset is that you should become employable. It's all about your education, your effort, your focus is on becoming employable, acquiring the skill set which will get you employment. Unfortunately for us, we were in an area where we knew only two fields, engineering and medical. There was nothing. There was no third. There was no distant third. So initially I was thinking, but I did not have a very strong penchant for, engineering or medical, either of them. I was fascinated for the Navy. I was always attached to water,
Tell me something. The place where you were,
There's no water.
there's no water. It was surrounded by land, all sides.
Yeah.
How far was the nearest beach?
It would be at least 400 kilometers off.
Right.
400-500 kilometers off. And I had not seen sea in all my life till I actually stepped out.
Wow. and that's when you saw the ship for the first time as well.
Yes.
How was it when you stepped into the vessel?
Yeah, I'll reach to that. See, it's a by chance how your destiny drives you. You will not believe I had applied for ND, Naval Academy. We have this thing in us that we should be in the defense and all that. Unfortunately, I cleared the NDA. I did my SSB in Bangalore, but I was rejected on physical fitness because I was overweight and I could not
Okay.
clear all
I was
that.
like, you're like
So
mighty tall, and why are you
yeah.
rejected?
I was overweight. I was a bit plumpish and all, and I could not do all those drills. So maybe I got rejected. I took it to my heart. Because I wanted to be out at sea. Then one of my friends, he advised me that no, don't worry. There are a lot of things you can see, but I never took it so seriously. After my schooling, I was in Delhi and I was studying statistics honors because I'm interested in mathematics and statistics. During that time itself, on the DTC bus, I found an employment newspaper. The seat was wet. I wiped it, and I was about to throw it. But again, coming from Hammer, I said, okay, let us see what's let's use it to the fullest. Seat is already clean. I have another half an hour to spend till I reach my college. I opened it and it read that start earning fast. Your eyes will. The long ad. The first thing I got is start earning fast.
The hook.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, this is godsend. And the requirement was, okay, out of school, you need to appear for this exam. Then I read it through. I said, okay, fine, let's do that.
Just in movies, all these kind of things happen. You wipe the seat with the paper, and then you look at the paper, and you get to have a fortune open in front of your eyes. And that's exactly what happens.
Because nobody in my family, my distant relatives, no one has an inkling of what it is.
Just that one paper.
No, that one paper, and it said start earning fast.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay.
And that's why I think modern day the hooks works much better in the social media as well.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Start earning fast.
Exactly.
That's exactly what driven you there.
Yes. And the spirit should be there. The spirit that I want to do something, I want to break free, I want to make my own destinations. That should be there. That cannot be imbibed in you. That is, you have to have it. You have to be the master of that. The spirit should be alive and kicking. So from there, I appeared for SC exam, and then they had IIT extended list and all was there. There were a lot of system. Then medical interview, medicals happened and all, and finally I got a letter one day. Till such time, my parents were thinking, okay, it's another office, freaked out. It'll die down because we don't have a clue what you're talking of. Finally, when the letter came, and I had to decide, you have to join. Reporting is there in December. They said, are you serious? Like, you shouldn't you be continuing your career and all? And what is this? We don't know, and we don't know anybody. No one in a distant relations or even in the society also is there. Out at sea. I said, let us give it a shot. Then my sister helped me. She said, let him go. How does it matter? Even if he cannot make it, he'll come back. That's fine. At least he would have enjoyed and he would have felt happy at heart that he did what he wanted to do.
Right.
I got support. I said, fine, let's do it. And I went to Mumbai and then did my training with SCI and then my cadetship with SCI, then my exams and all I did. And the journey started. And yeah, the first voyage was very difficult because when I went on a bulk vessel which was doing Australia, India. On the return trip itself, we were caught up in a storm. And I was praying, God, just get me to Vishakhapatnam. I made this mistake. I swear in your name, I'll never come back again. This is not for me.
And that promise was never kept.
Yeah.
You got back to the sea again.
Yes. But then, after 3 days, cyclone was over and all. And then it said everybody went back to normal. And the captain said, obviously, sea is meant for the strong-hearted. I took that. Oh, no. You can't be talking about me. I'm strong-hearted. I'm going to be here. I'll hang around. That vessel I did for 15 months. My first vessel as a cadet, I did 15 months. And I loved that vessel. I loved everything about it. It was...
I love the statement. Sea is for the strong-hearted.
Yes.
It is not just that, even the world is for the strong-hearted.
Yes, agree. In whichever domain you are, you should not give up fast. You should give yourself a chance. See, it is you who should decide that I need to give it a second shot.
The sea is actually for the strong-hearted. And as far as I know, this is the seafarer's job is classified as one of the world's riskiest job, right? How risky is it?
How risky? To put in terms of numbers, there have been 5 occasions in my 18 years career when I felt I've reached the end. Is raat ki subah nahi. There will be no tomorrow. This is the end. 5 times. at different stages of my career.
No
Twice
fault of
as
yours.
a master. one, one as a cadet, one as a second officer, one as a chief officer. So, at different stages in life, I felt that now this is the end. Fine. There will be no tomorrow. But then back again, there's again a new day, again a new storm, again a new sea, again a new cargo, new port, new people. That keeps you moving. The biggest education, what I think, is when you travel. I recollect in some, even our Vedas and a lot of books refer to that. And even Ashoka also, he asked somebody some reference there where it says that the traveler is the richest of all.
Absolutely.
Because he may not have the wealth or something, but the wealth of knowledge, wealth of having known people, wealth of having seen places, wealth of having been there, that surpasses everything.
Personally, I love traveling, and I'm telling you, I've learned a lot through travel.
Oh yes.
Whatever you read in books, whatever you read in books will give you certain level of visualization. Whatever you see in YouTube or any media, it will give you some level of perception. Reality only when you travel.
Yes.
And you learn a lot.
Yes.
You learn a lot about people. You learn a lot about how you can what you are up to. There are so many things that gets defined in travel. You're right.
Very true. And I made a lot of friends everywhere. Every port I used to go. I had always this interest in their cultural belief systems, their faith system, because we use the word faith and belief systems in a very cynical and very short manner. It is a huge thing.
Absolutely.
How
That's a
you
different
treat me,
podcast
yeah.
altogether.
Exactly.
That's a different
how you
podcast
treat me
altogether.
when I reach when we are out together, or when we are eating, how you behave with me, everything is a reflection of the cultural and the ethos that you have.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
It cannot be defined in 2 words.
Absolutely.
No. It cannot be typecasted. No. So I had the pleasure of having friends all across the globe, meeting variety of people, variety of cultures, variety of climates, locations, everything. I thank God I became a seafarer.
When was the first time you took command?
I took command in the year 2009. It was a small ship, and it was like somebody. I was waiting for my command in SCI, and then somebody offered me that I have a small vessel if you can bring it to India, and I said okay, fine. That khatron ke khiladi wala, I had it. I was game for it. You just have to tickle me. Come on, Amar, you can't do it. Yeah. Come on, forget it, and I'll do it. So it was like he said, see if you want to do it, because it'll be a difficult ship. I am the guy. And later I realized he had the feedback. This is one of those guys who would want to go.
So I know you are a person who, wherever there is a problem, you are there to solve it. You wanted to get it solved. So I've seen that happening with you multiple times. How did you get back from the sea to the shore?
Yes, that's interesting, because till date I love the sea more than anything.
Okay.
So happened that 2011 I got married. 2012 we had our first child, and then I was I was on oil tankers in my later part of my career. I was doing only oil and chemical vessels. So in command also was in oil and chemical vessels. Oil and chemical vessels give you a different kind of a kick,
Okay.
because the element of risk is high, and something goes wrong, the impact will be huge. That keeps you on the toes all the time. Because just to put again in the perspective, you can imagine the risk involved. On a bulk vessel, something happens, you have enough time to respond. Right? Even if you have a fire, I have seen fire on board thermal coal vessel. And we could finish the breakfast and attend it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. Thermal heating is, the subject, how it is. We know what has to be done. That's fine. Let us finish.
So for people who are watching, just for information, any vessel that is carrying coal will have some fumes.
Yeah.
So it will catch up some fire. They'll be putting up water onto it to rest it.
So a lot of hullabaloo is going on, and then they say, "Why you guys having breakfast? Let's finish it. Fine. Don't worry. It'll all be in control." But when I was on an oil tanker and all, when you are there, you can imagine something like a pump which is pumping 5,000 cubics an hour. 3 of them are pumping together. 21-inch pipe is there where somebody like me can be pumped through, and you are pumping out at a pressure of 12 to 15 bars. God forbid you had a small pinhole, the spray would go up in the sky to reach the moon. So just imagine, and with this, the paranoia of oil pollution and all that is so much, you can't risk it. So, it gives you, and because the operations are controlled by you on oil tankers, the entire discharging is controlled by you, entire thing is planned by you. You plan, you execute, you are responsible for everything, right? So it's your game. You cannot escape. So people on tankers enjoy that thing. That's a thrill, because it is your plan. You decide, and you should strip finally, because the oil also will have certain amount of residue will remain because it will be too thick to be pumped out.
Correct.
How smartly you can do that? How much you can take out? It used to be a challenge, and we used to talk to each other. Hey, boy, how much residue you have? I made it zero. I brought it to this level. Oh my God! So it was like camaraderie between us. We used to have this challenge.
How many ships did you have?
I would have
sailed?
Done 18, 20 ships because I used to sail
For longer periods?
longer periods.
Ah.
Even when I was with Sanmar, then what they do in the higher levels, as a captain and all, management would want you to repeat that vessel because then you are aware of the vessel, how she behaves. Trust me, every vessel will have its own independent behavior.
Oh.
How she will behave in wind, how she will behave in current, how she will behave with the stern. Once you give the wheel, how much she will turn, how fast she will recover. It will all be typical to one. Sister vessels also will have a difference.
It's like riding my bicycle.
Yeah.
I have a couple of bicycles, and each one behaves differently.
Yes.
And I know one has to be handled in one way in the wind, another one has to be handled in a different way in the wind. So I know only few people in the world will understand what is headwind, tailwind.
Yes.
One amongst that is cyclist.
Yeah, it makes a lot of difference.
Yes. So please.
So what happened now? Because in the oil tankers, because of the stress levels are very high, and it becomes 3 months on, 3 months off. Generally, people will be preferring that 3 on, 3 off because you will be doing STS operations, variety of operations, SBM approaches and all. So there's a lot of stress is also there. So 3 on, 3 off was the model that I was working on, and I was working with Sanmar, our own Chennai-based company. And then what happened that every time I used to go home, my son's growth used to be like this, zigzag.
So your last remembrance or last known knowledge is at this age, and then suddenly when you go back and he's like here.
Exactly. And you are missing out on all that fun, when your kids are coming up, that is the time you enjoy,
Correct.
And I realized, and every time you go, you have to struggle for 2-3 days for familiarization, convincing your kid that you are his dad,
Introducing yourself as a dad to your kid.
And then, he'll be looking at his mother. Is he the guy? And she has to endorse, Papa, play with him. Then he'll come and play. Then every time used to hurt, man. Then I had my daughter. She was born in 2014. I could not miss, I felt I was missing out a lot in life. Then I said, boss, let's hang the boots. So by 2014 end, I decided to quit. 2015, I joined Bakshi. JM Bakshi. They had a requirement, and they had a requirement in Mumbai also. They had a requirement in Paradip also. But being a small town boy, I am happy in some remote area. I love remote locations. I said, I'll go to Paradip. They said, think twice because that place is like Wild Wild West. I said, no, nothing thinking. I'm okay. This is my place.
What level of Wild Wild West?
Oh, that place. Can you believe it that Paradip is the second biggest port in India? Right?
Yeah.
And the potential is immense. The entire iron ore is in that territory. The entire steel industry is in that territory. All your coking coal imports are happening over there. Then the power, the thermal coal imports are happening over there. A place like that, which is having India's second biggest refinery, is over there in Paradip. That is a huge place with immense potential,
Wow.
Unfortunately, what has happened is that over the period of time, we have the union effect and all that is still there. The legacy issues are still there. Despite all that, I had a wonderful time. I did a stint of 3 years over there. I was looking after stevedoring, agency, CHA activity, everything over there, and it was wonderful. I had a wonderful time there. Despite, contrary to what people, have to feel and say about the place, I had a wonderful time.
I want to understand what all areas you worked in. Stevedoring, port handling, CHA activities, agency. Right now you're liner. So there are so many things that you've taken multi dimensions in your
Yes,
in your
yes.
career for the last 11 years.
To start with, in command, I was mostly on oil and chemical vessels. Now, unfortunately, oil and chemical business does not have too much of a scope when you are stepping ashore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's a very limited thing. Because it's all automated. It goes into the plant and the
Tank.
refinery, and then the refinery takes over. So there is not too much of intermediary action that is happening in between. So when I stepped ashore, I went into bulk stevedoring, right? See, what happens in an oil and chemical vessels are liquid. You will never get to see the liquid. It will be through the pipe, through the pump, it will be sent ashore, right? When it comes to bulk means anything which is in a bulk form like coal, like iron ore, like timber, like steel, anything which is in the huge quantity being shipped on a ship. Those ships are called bulk carriers. The liquid ones are called tankers because they have tanks to carry the liquid. And then you have container ships which will be carrying only containers. Then you will have RoRo ships which will be divided into 2-3 types. If they're carrying only
Cars.
cars,
Pure car
it will
carriers.
be PCC. If they're carrying trucks also, PCTC. If they are a special type of RoRo like the one which we operate these days, that will be a different thing altogether. And then you have MPPs. MPPs are again project-oriented vessels which are designed with a super strengthened deck top and tank top bottoms. Their ability to carry localized loads and concentrated weights is way higher, right? So roughly this is what, and then we.
So for people who are watching, PCC is pure car carrier. PCTC is pure car and truck carrier. There is RoRo and container vessel. There is MPP, multi-purpose project cargo vessel.
Generally, what happens is that each one is custom made for a particular trade, and it can also be used for certain different trades, right? For example, these MPPs, the whole difference of MPP would be that they would have a higher capacity lifting cranes would be there. Whereas your normal geared bulkers would have only 35 to 40 tons. MPPs would be like 100, 200.
I've seen 450
Yeah,
tons,
and
500 tons. crane,
those
yeah.
are then heavy lifts.
Yeah.
The heavy lift segment is another segment altogether, which will have 800 tons lifting capacity and
Yes, yes,
1,000 tons
yes,
and all
yes.
that. So, for each particular type of cargo, you will be having a vessel. So, when I was in Paradeep, I was into bulk stevedoring. We were doing about iron ore stevedoring, coal stevedoring, and project stevedoring. See, the word estibor itself is a Portuguese word.
Correct.
Right? So it is an estibor. Estibor means to put something into a bigger package or packing, you can say, even if you are
The one who actually
who
puts it.
packs
Yeah.
and all. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, whatever way you look at it, the imperialistic powers of Europe spread all over the world, and wherever they went with the idea of trade, right? So that trade itself, whatever words they were using, were more or less accepted locally everywhere. So this estribor became slowly the British, started making it a stevedore, right? So because the Spanish and the Spaniards will add an O to it, and so all that, and finally the outcome was stevedores, and the British taught us stevedores, so we are
still
carrying
using the word.
stevedores.
Yeah.
Whereas the Americans have a dual concept. Americans have longshore
Men.
men and stevedores. They are two different things. Because, this again, we keep on getting confused that, okay, the stevedores in India are called longshoremen over there. No. Because in US, what was happening was, US was not so developed and all. They used to have these bigger vessels from Europe or from other parts of the world, which would go there and it would anchor outside. It's an anchorage. The anchorage area cargo will be handled by the stevedores, who would be a group of seamen and ex-seamen,
Okay.
who would be ace in the handling of those, rigging of the derricks and the gears and all.
Yeah, without a shore support.
Yes. Longshoremen are those people who will take the smaller boats, go out, load this on the boat, bring it inside to the, it's like a distribution network and the last mile delivery. They'll bring out to the small wharfs. US had a history of small piers. They did not have a history of ports. India always had a history of ports. Lothal port, something like 2500 BCE or something. We had a big port, which was an organized port with the proper, wharves and all, warehouses. We had people who had seals. Today we talk about customs seal has to be put and all. Lothal we were putting in 2500 BCE. Indians were putting seals on their cargo. We could make out it is my cargo or your cargo by the seal. No need to fight. Seal has been put and the receiver will know.
This is from
Consigned to me.
Yeah.
So we were there. Coming to the defense fleet in our own Tamil Nadu, 1000 year backs, Cholas had the largest fleet on earth. 1000 naval vessels.
That's why they could conquer the entire
Yes.
Far East.
Yes, 1000 naval ships. Imagine the ability to build, to operate, to run, to take it to so far. So we always had it, Okay, never mind. Coming back to this. So this stevedoring word as such would mean that, somebody who will handle the cargo, offload it, unload it. Slowly what happened when, initially it was all manual. So the idea of the stevedore would be a company, right? And this would be basically run by the laborers who are physically strong. So the visualization of a stevedore would be a heavy duty labor. But as the technicalities developed and it improved and all, it became more and more difficult because the cargo became more sensitive, more valuable, and you needed more acumen to attach it. The stevedoring became more and more
Technical.
Right? And over the years, the technicality has only increased and improved.
That I can see.
Yeah. But unfortunately, our perception of a stevedore is still of the Raj era. We need to change that. We need to bring respect because stevedoring is a very technical stuff, sir. You may be able to, people start thinking, I brought this, what, this guy is just hooking. No, he puts the hook in the wrong place.
Gone. Yeah.
Right? So he is using his acumen and all these big packages and all. People are admiring only the people who are fabricating it, manufacturing it. The person who is enabling its erection, the person who is bringing it ashore for you, he is also an important cog in the wheel.
Absolutely.
I would cannot deny that.
I will definitely vouch for that. Being a stevedore myself, every single package that when we hook up to, we understand where the center of gravity is, how to hook this up.
Yes.
We'll do a lot of study before we could actually execute it. Today it's more of engineering than
Exactly.
a simple labor job.
Exactly.
Earlier it used to be like 50 kgs, 100 kgs back where people used to carry and like you said heavy labor, maximum up to 300 kgs, carrying 3-4 people. But now it's like in tons. We are talking about 50 tons. You have witnessed 154 tons package that we discharged.
Yes. Wonderful.
Every single package was different. Every single thing had different rigging requirements. Every single thing need engineering.
Very true.
Ashore, even on board, we needed engineering.
Exactly.
End of the day, it will be executed by the ground force. But for the ground force, you need that engineering mindset to be given to them. You need to give them the instruction. They cannot do it all by themselves these days.
Very
it's
true.
more technical now.
Yes.
One, like you said, rightly said, one error can cause fatalities to an extreme level.
So stevedoring itself, this is a very important segment when we are, especially when you're handling high value items and all. For that matter, anything that you're handling, right? So stevedoring itself has undergone a lot of changes over the years, right? And now the perception of the people also has to change for this. Because, we are bringing in more and more valuable, more and more complicated cargo. All your new power projects, new, manufacturing units, entire thing is going to come as breakbulk only. And it has to be offloaded and carried. Logistics is the key to your, whatever we are thinking about 5 trillion, 10 trillion and all, manufacturing has to happen. How it will happen? Somebody has to move all this.
I was reading this a fantastic note about what exactly all these politics, what exactly how this the communist works, how the entire world is working. It's all working on labor, right? One person found a place where you can get the mineral. He's engaging the labor. He gets the minerals out, getting paid more than what he pays for the labor for a free stuff now. Now with that whatever mineral that you get, They're going to make a product, engage the labor, make the product, and then you pay more or you get paid more than what you have invested. The second one. And then somebody else uses that to make a bigger product. Like for instance, wood pulp, wood, MDF, and then here you have a table.
When we talk about value creation, the human element is what creates the value.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And we are not talking about the notional value of the share market or something. We are talking about real value of anything. It is the human element only which is adding value to that.
Exactly. If not for human, I think the world itself is not there. And despite the fact that we are talking about artificial intelligence, anything for the matter of any technology for the matter of fact, without human being involved at the root level, I don't think any of these things exist.
Very true.
So right, the stevedoring part, it was so fascinating for me. So I just got carried away. And then you had a lot of roles that you played.
Yes, that was there, and then I was into CHA activity also because Bakshi was operating CHA there.
So CHA, for people who are watching, it's Customs House Agency or Customs Broker who will represent the shipper or the consignee. Shipper is somebody who sends the cargo, consignee is somebody who receives the cargo. So CHA acts as the middle layer to let the Customs of India know what you're bringing in. Is it right or wrong? Declaring it in the right sense, and then acknowledging that we have... It's more of a information and the right information.
Just to add to it, I'll just add a few things more here. See, whatever you import or export has to be in compliance with the customs regulations of the country, whichever country you work. So it's a universal thing. So what happens that me as an exporter or an importer may not be conversant with the process. So we need somebody who knows the process, somebody who knows the regulations, somebody who can help me and guide me for a fee so that I would have done all the compliances. So this is a big value add because it may look that the CHA is just filling up a couple of forms and all. No, he understands. He has passed an exam, he knows his stuff, he knows the regulations, and he's more updated on a day-to-day basis. So he can guide you better because one non-compliance can create a lot of problem for you.
Not just for you, for the entire chain.
Exactly. And unintentionally also you will land up in a trouble and you will have the, issues which will have a big implication on your core business. CHA is important.
It's like this, one person makes a mistake somewhere in the line, in the entire chain, one person makes a mistake, everybody is affected, everybody is punished. That's how it is. So CHA was one. Then
the stevedoring I did, and I was there, I was very active in our the agents association because we were handling a lot of agency vessels and all. And almost like you were having more than 500 vessels a year, like.
Wow,
and
that's
I was
a big number.
I was a part of the Agents Association also. We were actively involved in that. Then I moved to Vishakhapatnam because then I realized that I was missing one element, that was a container element. When I was in SCI, I had sailed on a container ship called Rajiv Gandhi.
Okay.
Rajiv Gandhi was there, so I had sailed on that. From the vessel side, I was aware. From the shore side, I felt I have a gap. See, in career, I have felt that always you should be the one to identify the knowledge gap before the industry identifies.
Very true.
So then only you'll be a step ahead, So I realized that I am missing out on one thing. Liquid is my own territory. Solid and all I've already, done here. CH activity also I have done. Stevedoring I have done. Breakbulk I have done. Container, I am aware only on the sea side. I'm not sure about the shore side. And shore side I realized was a lot complicated, right? So I said, okay, fine, and I requested, and then, luckily they offered me in Vishakhapatnam. Then I had a wonderful team over there. They were excellent. Vishakhapatnam container terminal is one of the best operated terminals in terms of efficiency, And there's an interesting aspect about it. It is not a terminal by design, no. It was a birth of the Vishakhapatnam port for some other, they had made it as an MPB, which Bakshi took it up and they converted it into a terminal. So with whatever has already been designed, because container terminals are designed. This is whatever is as is, where is basis, you have done it. And the innovation, I would suggest you should go and visit the terminal and see. Those people have done a wonderful innovation. They have utilized every square inch of space. and they are giving you all the services which can be thought of in a terminal. Trade facilitation, what it means, I learned there. The openness to trade. I was coming from Paradeep where we did not have so much openness to trade. Then in Vishakhapatnam, I see and it was led by the CBIC, the Customs Commissioner over there. He was leading the initiative. We used to have the entire trade and the terminal meeting together, and it was open. You have some issues, you can speak up and all that. It was very fair and it was a wonderful initiative. I really saw how, this government authorities can come forward, engage with the trade, and we as the terminals are also answerable to you, right? So, and that was a forum to the real meaning of trade facilitation I understood there. I had a wonderful experience over there. And then, and container thing, one thing is there that, it's a repetitive thing. So initially 6 months, you feel you're learning every second, you're learning something new. But then after that, it's all repetitive, right? Then I was feeling that something more needs to be done.
You need problems in life.
Yeah, and that terminal is absolutely trouble-free. There is no problem. It is fantastic terminal.
That's not your place.
The only challenge we had once was, it was very interesting, when we had, because of congestion in the terminal, and that was the terminal to become a nodal gateway for imports into Kathmandu,
Oh, yeah, okay.
Nepal and all.
Nepal.
Yeah. And along with Concor, we had started the rail movements and all. It was very interesting.
Ideally, it's only Kolkata and Haldia, right?
Yes. So Vizag also is there. And through rail movement and all.
Because none of the ports are allowed to
Yes.
for such kind of activity.
And they came up with the innovative idea of a GPS tracker and a seal to ensure that it is, no pilferage happens and all, and you are able to track it, trace it. All this track and trace initiative of LDB and all, it was a learning experience. It was fantastic. How tracking and tracing is effectively helping by putting RFID and all and then they had a GPS kind of tracker over there. It was beautiful. It was amazing, And for people who don't know, each box, in a rake, you put around 90 units, 90 20-foot containers. From Vizag, this has to go to Raxaul. Pirganj is on the Nepal side, Raxaul Indian side. From there, it enters Nepal. So there's a long routing.
So it enters Nepal in the rail only? Or
Rail only.
Okay,
Rail
right.
only. It goes rail
And
only.
the customs will do a check there, yeah.
Sealed and all, and with that seal and this seal, it is sent. Because a lot of pilferage and all can happen on the way. Now things have improved. Now overall the railway grid itself has improved. Earlier, getting a rake used to be difficult, getting a power used to be difficult. Siding was not available. See, it's not only about 2 tracks. If some other thing is coming, some other priority train is coming, you have to. And the irony is that the freight trains are earning the revenue to run the passenger
trains, correct.
But yet you have to stop the freight train to allow the passenger train.
But that's how it all started, right? See, the railways, if you really look at, it started because there was coal.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the coal became cheap.
Yes.
They said, okay, now let's power the train. The train was initially invented for shifting the goods.
Yes.
Once the coal became cheaper, they said now we'll start using it for commuting.
Yes.
Then it became for leisure. So right now, whatever railways that we are using does not earn money for the railways. Only the freight, including the airlines. Let's take any mode of commuting that we are doing, does not earn money at all. Let's take a simple example. A car. When you drive it, you fuel it up, you're going to burn money there. But when you take a truck, you fuel it up, take the cargo, you're going to earn money there. So anywhere, cargo is the place where you actually earn money.
And as a country, as a nation, we made this mistake. We never focused on the logistics aspect. We never focused. We never looked at logistics, its issues. We never focused on that. Now you see, fortunately for the last 10-15 years, the focus is huge. You can see this, dedicated freight corridors. You can see, those double-decker, endless trains are there. And, suddenly we are on a fast track. Because if you want if you want to bring your people out of poverty or whatever, if you want growth, then you need business and trade. You need opportunities. Opportunities will create when you create the infrastructure.
Correct.
The first thing is infrastructure.
Correct.
Somebody has to take the risk of going ahead and making all this.
Yeah.
We cannot be waiting till today, and last 15 years I've always felt in my heart, are we not in a over capacity zone? Because when you look at the number of the ports, private, government, major, minor, everybody together, a lot of times I feel that maybe we have entered the over capacity zone. But then no, like if you are looking at, tripling your economy and all, things have to move.
Exactly.
So it's just that you are being ready, well in time, other than just in time. You are, ready a bit well in time, which will give more confidence.
Correct.
And having said that, till today, I always say this on all the forums. I hope it reaches the right people. We are focusing again only on development on the seaside. Evacuation side is still an issue. Evacuation side is still an issue, and the receiver or the exporter is still facing a lot of
problems.
Challenges.
Yes.
But then, we as a trade and industry also should start to work together and think and come up with some ideas. Just waiting for, the government only to come up with ideas and things is not enough. Like something we also need to do. So far, what I'm seeing in across the board, all the ports, seafront efficiencies have zoomed.
Correct.
And they have been very honest and they've been open about it. Because I recollect an incident in 2015 when I was in Paradeep. There was a team of PCG visiting Paradeep. I was like in state of shock. Of all the people, why should these are all high-flying consultants, why should they come? And then I asked who has sent? The Ministry of Shipping has sent. And the port chairman himself called us and told, you all have to extend full support. We were like surprised, why these guys are here? And they were there to study what is the inefficiency. This is called out-of-box thinking, because, see, if you ask me, I am okay. I will always feel okay about myself. I need to look at myself and evaluate it through your eyes.
Correct.
That's why you need to tell me, am I okay or not? Or do I need to do something where I can improve?
Only way you can improve is knowing that you have a spot where you can improve.
Exactly.
And to know it, sometimes you'll have to look outside of yourself as well. So I think that's what I was also happy that the government of India is coming up with lots of initiations. Like recently we had one port, one process kind of thing. So entire India, they want to summarize the port process, including the customs documentation, vessel inward and outward, so container clearance, all. They wanted to minimize the number of documentation that one should submit to the port or to the authorities.
But again, having said all that, the one reality still remains is that they are not from this field, right? So mathematical extrapolations and modeling can take you only so far. But what it effectively did was, it shook us up. It woke us up. Because we had, fine, it'll take, okay, it goes. Chalta hai attitude was there. चल रहा है ना, export हो रहा है ना, load हो रहा है ना. So what if the rake had to wait for 1 day? Fine. They shook us up. And it's not that they came up with a solution, because finally, we are the masters of our trade. We know better, right? Just that we were like, in a state of inertia. They broke that inertia. And they helped us. Yeah. And then they set up targets and all that, and performance targets, outturns and all. Benchmarking and all happened and all. And then, it gave a positive kind of a push. It really helped. Things are changing. So, we all need to be
so overall from a stevedore, and from there to an agent, and then terminal operator. And then the agent again.
Yes. Then what happened in Parekh reached out and they wanted a regional head for the entire eastern region. Because, see, what has happened that by virtue of being in SCI, I know all the ports of India, the layout, the issues, because I have been working on, and I have been on oil tankers, bulk carriers, veg oil carriers, chemical vessels. So all the ports roughly I know, and I have my friends and all. So we are aware of this location, So they came up with this idea that if you can help us, we need somebody to head all our businesses. I said, good. What all businesses? Then that included forwarding also. I said, wow, I know nothing about forwarding. Because I was zero. I knew theoretically what forwarding means, but when I told I don't know this. And their forwarding head who was there, he in fact in the discussion at the interview, he said, you don't have, I don't have, but you will have to give me 2 months. The other businesses which I'm aware of, within 1 month I'll turn it around. What I'm not aware of, you'll have to give me 2 months. But you'll see results. Otherwise, I'll pull out. Don't worry. So fine. They took they allowed me. They allowed full freedom to operate and everything. I was doing, I had a wonderful team. And what was lacking was the role of an enabler. My team knew what they were doing. They were not sure about what happens if something goes wrong. So the only thing I was doing there was, I told, relax, do your stuff. Something goes wrong, it's on me. You just bring it to me. That's it.
That's the typical leadership quality that any leader should have.
And they turned around, and the best part was when the bosses used to ask, how's things? I said, hey, it's all good. And what was happening? I used to openly say that people are doing it. They said, how things have undergone a tremendous change, and everything you're putting it on the people. Yeah, because it is the people. It's not about, it is all about the people only. They only do it. It's not humanly possible for me to, I was handling 6 different businesses. Is it humanly possible? No. Then I got exposure in warehousing. Bonded warehousing, general warehousing is also there. And they had the teams for each of the businesses. But here, being a local head, I was running across the verticals, across the businesses. So I got an exposure which I never had. I got into bonded warehouse. It's an excellent business. Then I got into general warehousing, 3PL, 4PL. These things there is so much opportunity. Correct. Like there is so much happening. And then I realized that Chennai is one hotspot for warehousing business. Year-on-year growth itself is in double digits.
Double digit, yes.
And we are not talking about lakhs of square feet added. We are talking about millions of square feet added. So, maybe I am not able to see something. Maybe you're not able. But let us trust the person who is investing into this. So he must have seen something which I am not able to see. Every year I used to see it's adding. And what happened to the early one? Full utilized. Because I used to travel a lot. Chennai and Tamil Nadu government, hats off to the government's vision. They focused on SIPCOTs. The reality is that today's India's exports, 60% exports are from
SIPCOTs. Yes.
SIPCOTs. And majorly, Tamil Nadu has been a role model for others. Okay. They are into the real manufacturing. It's not about oil refining and all. It's not about adding value. It's about real sense manufacturing. And all these SIPCOTs, whether it is in Sri Perumbudur, Sri City, Varamalai Nagar, Mahindra City, wherever, all companies are budding companies, big companies, medium companies, small companies, and they are all going to go places. You can see this is going to be a hub for the next 15, 20 years. Visibility is there. This place is hot and happening. And it used to impress me a lot. Oh, wow. So, when I moved here, agency was my forte. Stevedoring was already doing. Stevedoring also, what we did was instilling confidence, And then Stevedoring, what was wrong was, nobody wants to invest in the gears and all. Because, again, it's like a chicken and egg situation.
Which comes first?
Yeah.
Because we've gone through this. We never used to have something called spreaders.
Yeah.
So randomly an idea came and we invested in a Modulift 110 ton spreader, which is an adjustable. Like from 3 meters, it can go up to 16 meters long. So we got a couple of it. And then we also bought additional tubs so that it can be extended up to 12 meters and kind of thing. So we did a lot of, we just invested. We thought we have nothing to do, but we have nothing to lose also. But let's buy it. Today I'm telling you, every ship we are using it. Every single ship that we are using it. Every single ship we use that because it is extremely adjustable. You just have to plug and play.
Yeah.
And it can go up to 110 tons. So any weight you can lift it up to 110 tons. You're right. Having invested in gears, that too specific gears, special gears, can bring you a lot of business.
And what happens when you call yourself a stevedore? Unfortunately, somewhere in between, it got a different notation to it. It was like a labor supplier. Labor supplier and stevedoring are two different things, sir. They are two completely different things. Okay, it may look the same, but they are not the same. One has skill.
Right.
One has superior skill set. One has superior ability to perform and understand what's going on.
I'll watch for it.
So yeah, it was like, and when I came here, and then they said, "Oh, you're investing so much." Obviously, the management will have issues investing so much will come. So initially, you rent it out, and don't earn enough on it. Then you start adding up to your gears and all. You start owning your gear. But then what happens now? That the pressure is on you, that you should be able to use it multiple times. So you automatically, the moment you acquire and use funds to acquire some gears, you bring upon yourself the pressure and onus of generating more business and making the utilization higher levels. And trust me, each successful cycle of utilization reduces your investment in that, and your returns start to flow. So then what happens? You can reinvest in more. So in a phases manner, if you do, you will be able to have a wonderful set of gears. And what happens if I am a shipper or a receiver? I would want to know what my stevedore is, what is his specialty, what is his ability. I don't want to entrust a labor supplier. I want to know somebody who understands.
I think that level is still not reached because people are still not that aware that a stevedore is having a multi-capable role, or it's more of an engineering role than just a simple labor supplier role. Probably because of how the business dynamics has been happening over the years, people have not given the right aura for it.
I am fully in agreement with you, and unfortunately, the root cause, in my opinion, for this is the L1 model. The L1 model is
the killer. In fact, L1 model is the killer for anything.
Yes.
Because you cannot optimize so much that.
Unfortunately, the people sitting in the decision making, whether it's the shipper side or the importer or the exporter or the receiver, they have relegated this responsibility to somebody who will
not know what it is.
He does not know what happens when something goes wrong. He does not know what it makes a difference if you are having your own gear or you're using some second-hand gear or some rotten gear. How does it matter? Till the accident doesn't happen. So you are waiting for an accident to happen.
The problem here is people don't even anticipate that such kind of things can happen because they were never in this role.
Yes. They have no clue, no inkling.
And they take the shots.
Yes. And then what has happened is that, again, with all due respect to all the MBA institutions in India.
Love it. Now you are touching the right point. I was about to tell that, yeah.
With all the respect to all the MBA institutions in India, unfortunately, they have, they are losing the plot. They are resolved, they are taking the easier recourse of how to cheat, how to, undermine something. Instead of creating value by adding value, don't create notional value.
You know what is happening right now? An MBA is coming in with immediate effect. They want to do a cost saving.
Yes.
They are not coming in with a long-term effect of building more, to earn more revenue, earn more profits. No, they are looking at how to reduce the cost and show the organization that I have somehow fulfilled my cost. You are paying me so much, and I am saving you double of it. I am asking you, we are paying you so much. Being an MBA, generate 10x of the business.
Exactly. And above all, what really the difference in the way we think over here and the way the Japanese think and all. Because, I had one, I'll tell you about an incident with Japanese also. They are selling, the proposition that I can give you more discount, they're looking and they stare at you. Are you out of your minds or something? My cargo value is so much. Do you really think, and you are, whatever you ask, even if you ask double of what rate you have asked, it is not even 0.5% of the value. Do you really think I'm interested in discussing that 0.5% with you?
This something happened with me as well. I don't want to quote the name of the shipper, but the shipper was from Germany. And you know what, how beautifully they handled it. See, I will not say that my costs are very low, but my costs are not high as well. It's very optimum. And I want to get paid that way because I also deliver a very good job. I treat every cargo like a baby. So which means I care so much, I invest so much, I do so much. Now I given a quote and the customer straightforward calling me, he says, is this the best quote? I said, it's the best quote. I'm not going to negotiate with you. I'm not going to do anything with you. See, the cargo values so many millions. I just want you to handle with care. even if it takes a little more. Do not hesitate to ask. Please ask right away. Don't tell me even later, but just ask it right away upfront. I'm okay to pay even more, but I just want you to take care of my cargo like anything. Just this. And thank God, the customer is still with me.
He will always be there. He will never think of changing.
He's still with me.
Never. Because you cannot put the rice backer template onto a high-end machinery.
Exactly.
Well, come on. Where are
Exactly.
you? And here also, what I did was, after adding, with the good support from the management, this is a risk which the management has to take to invest in something which will yield or not. We don't know. So what happened? Then I started, because see, what happens when you're sitting in office? You cannot be there all the time to ensure that it is used properly.
Right.
So you have to create a sense of ownership in the people, that this gear is mine. My safety depends on the safety of this gear. Because a stevedore, his foreman, his signalman, his riggers, their safety is an extended safety of the gear they use. They are not two different things. They are one and same thing. So how to make them responsible for it? Because it's not easy for me and you to keep a track of what's going on. What I did, I told them, okay, fine. You go ahead and you maintain this and all. Occasionally I will come, right? And I'll see. This initially interested them. Okay, now it means it's important because the big boss himself is coming. So it is important. Otherwise it was thrown. We don't care. When the next vessel will come, we'll start searching. Arey, kidhar gaya re, usko dhundo. This is the typical attitude, right? Then they realize, oh, this is important. This guy himself is going to come and see. So it means it's important for him. Okay, let us trust him. Then what happened? I started taking my foreign guests also. Then they realized, oh boss, this thing is really serious. This guy is bringing the customers here to show them that how we are keeping it. They took immense pride, and every Ayudh Puja, I have the pictures with me. I still remember it. They used to take pride of it as if it's their babies,
Wow.
Well painted, well maintained, well kept, class. That was one thing. And second thing, what I was talking about the Japanese people, which I learned. See, we Indians are too much British in the way we work, That Raj Singh has not yet gone out,
Right.
So what happened is that in Japan, the big boss, they also have hierarchies, super hierarchy. The big boss and all, they have already, the foreman has discussed the plan. And then the foreman will come on board, full team will be sitting on the hatch cover or somewhere, they'll sit all together and they will have a discussion. After that discussion, they will not talk. The full day will be over, entire operation will be over, they will not talk.
Right.
That discussion will encapsulate everything that's going to happen. And in that discussion, everybody will be there, nobody will be missing, no absentees, no late guys. Never let the world fall apart. Not one day that will miss. After that, they'll not talk. We Indians, okay, you continue, I'm coming, I'm late, 10 minutes, manage somehow. Then what will happen? We'll say, and then throughout the operation, we'll be shouting,
Hey, this, that.
You get this, this guy doesn't. What is it? If you have a plan, roll it out.
Correct.
That is what I started doing here. This I had learnt on my vessel, when I was in Japanese ports. So here also when the student thing, I said, now let us have everybody in the office. Surveyor, foreman, and minimum 2 people from the riggers. So in our office, we used to have those meetings with everybody. They were like, Zap, what's wrong with this guy? No one calls us to the office so far. Whatever I have to tell, I'll tell the supervisor will tell the supervisor, and then no trickle-down effect. Please come. And whatever plan has been made will be discussed with everybody. And initially my Tamil is weak. I was not able to understand. But I knew that they will understand that language. So I used to tell my assistant, but I had a wonderful team, Guru was there. I used to tell him, you will explain to them in Tamil only, go ahead. If I don't understand, I will ask. Because it is important for the last person who is going to put the hook. He should understand the plan. Otherwise, whatever we have thought and discussed and decided is all waste. The man who has to put the hook, if he has not understood, then the mission has failed.
Correct.
And it worked wonders. And we invested in trainings, discussions, open discussions, and everybody had the access to me. I don't need any good morning, good evenings and all. That I've always maintained. Anything urgent, you WhatsApp to me. I don't care what rank you are and what file you are. Forget it. If your content is good, you can text me and I'll respond.
Perfect.
That was to the last man, and in whatever language you want. You don't worry about that. So last man also will have that access. Then I started getting feedback also and all that, where to improve and all. And then the whole team became focused. Okay, boss, and we can do it. Yeah? And then the full thing started to play out very well. And by grace of God, they're still maintaining it. They're doing good.
Fantastic. I still see them.
So these are very small things, you're just including them.
Correct.
Finally, they're what going to do, right?
Correct.
They're the ones who are going to hook. So include them.
So you've maintained a lot of avatars. And currently you are into the role of a country manager.
Yes, by grace of God, yes. This thing also came to me. Prior to this, I was, we were agents for another RoRo operators, but they are into more cars and all. This one was, RoCon itself, it was like, and this is the national company of Saudi Arabia. This is the biggest company of Saudi Arabia. And I am amazed by the current leadership over there, the vision. If you look at the Saudi Vision 2030, company is expanding and company is doing a lot of wonderful things and all. The number of projects happening within Saudi also are immense. All big time projects. So when I got this opportunity, I said, wow, this is a wonderful opportunity. So I should join them. So I joined them and I had a wonderful team here. And the vessel itself is very unique,
Right.
Those vessels is very different. Like those vessels are RoRos, but then we are not interested in cars. The RoRo would be those big ones, big mammoth dumpers and big, those huge ones. The axle, below the axle, Maruti can run through, right?
Correct.
So those are there. And then a vessel having containers also. 350 TU is the capacity of that vessel. She can carry containers. So she is not a container vessel. She is giving you the option or solution of containers also. Because she is a pure project-oriented vessel.
She has a multi-capability. She has a ramp.
6.8 meters is the highest opening as on date. I think 1 or 2 vessels are there with this opening, but they're old vessels. 6.8 meters ramp height is not available in the industry as on date.
And with containers, and as well as with 2 cranes with a tandem capacity of 240 tons.
120 into 2 and tandem is 240. Just imagine whatever you can think of in a project can be handled on the vessel.
Right.
And again, just to underline this, the lifting capacity in this region is limited to 50 tons at all the terminals. With the HMCs and all, it will be slightly higher. But again, those HMCs cannot be mobilized. It will be in a particular area in the port. So the gap of 50 tons to 200 plus odd tons is a huge segment. And we as logisticians, we should not be shallow in our thinking that we are doing to earn a bread and butter. We are the people who are facilitating the manufacturing industry.
Right.
If India has to grow big, if India has to make big, then India has to move big. Logistics people are required to come up with more solutions to make it more efficient, to make it more effective.
Brilliant. Because that's right. Because whenever a manufacturer talks to me, they ask me, can we do this? Before even they could manufacture, they will ask us, Sai, can you actually tell me if this is doable? Or do we have to split it into parts? So they ask us, and they also ask us if we can facilitate assembly facility inside the port. So there are lots of things of this kind that happens.
And in a very honest opinion I would want to give is that, like, based on what I understand is, see, the high-end electronic industry, we will take some time to reach. We are not there. We are on the way, right? But when it comes to heavy engineering, high-end fabrication, no one can beat us.
Right.
Cryogenic tanks, boiler tanks, pressurized tanks.
Right.
The windmill
components.
Sector, windmill components, gearboxes, hubs, nacelles, blades, name it.
Right.
So, our people, our manufacturing engineers, our manufacturers are ready for it. They are ready to accept higher challenges. One thing, it pains to me when I hear that because of logistical constraints, he could not bid or participate in the tender. That hurts.
That's sad.
See, me and you, we can say, I'm doing enough for my company, you're doing enough for your... Okay, all said and done.
What for the industry?
Yes.
What's for the industry?
If you could have reached out, that is why every forum I say the era for competition is over. It is collaboration now.
Correct.
Let us jointly work together and find a solution for the trade, for the industry. If you want to reach that level, then let us work together. It's not about you winning or me winning. It's about we making someone else win. Who is that else? He is the person who is manufacturing.
Giving him the power and authority to build something big happens through us. So I think we should have the responsibility of building something or enabling the building something big.
Yes.
The US tariff that's happening right now. What's your view on US slapping a big tariff on Indian exports or Indian origin goods that's landing into US?
Okay, fine. Now, let us look at it from a different perspective without the biases and all. If you go back in time, were they not the same people who were talking about globalization, removal of tariff barriers? It's just a matter of 15-20 years back.
Correct.
Same people were talking that we should break all tariff barriers. Goods and services should move smoothly. This will make the world richer place. It will make the world a better place. Don't you see, kind of a double speak in this? 20 years down the line, you are trying, the entire world is running on a nationalistic fervor. Whether it is the Europeans or the Americans or for that matter. And we are also forced to be nationalistic in terms of economic decision. It is not an option, right? 20 years back, you decided unilaterally that the world should be one place and we should remove all the tariffs and all, right?
Correct.
It was the same Americans who were championing all this, right? So whenever it suits you, you will play football. When it suits you, you will start playing cricket. What is it? I am supposed to play catch up with you all the time?
I have a different perspective to this. I feel it's more like a power execution. A person in power want to acquire that status or the superiority status, and they are executing their choices in a perspective where people will see. It's like this. Let's go back in times. The strongest hunter back then, I'm talking about the early man stages, the strongest hunter would be the head of the tribe. Why? Because the strongest hunter can feed the people for the next 3 days without others going for the hunt. Then came the industrialization, or actually then came the agriculture. The best agricultural farmer would be the head of that tribe, and he can feed the entire tribe for that particular season itself. And then came the industrialization, communism. What happened? The best industry would feed the entire city.
Yeah.
And it would increase the GDP of that country, right? Right now, it's happening same with the AI also. People are trying to execute their powers everywhere. They're trying to get that status quo. They're trying to get that positioning. They're trying to gain that authority. Why? With that authority, let's again go back in times. The person who used to feed the tribe for 3 days with his hunting skills had more mates.
Some reward is there.
Is there.
Yeah.
The person who used to be feeding the entire tribe for a season again had more mates. Then come to the industrialization, the person who used to feed had more people respecting him. There was more respect. There was more salutes. There were more demands which was met to him. So many things happened to him. Rewards again.
Agreed. I got your point. I wish it was like that. But again, I'm not an economist, but what I understand of it, it is not that simple. What has happened is the American economy lost the plot 20 years back, and they started, the day they delinked the dollar from the gold, the plot was lost. Right? Now, what is happening now is that during the COVID period, for the immediate thing, what I can relate to, maybe I'm wrong, but during the COVID period, they did not produce anything as such, right? And they did what we used to do some time back. We used to print more currency and throw in the system. So our inflation used to be in the range of like 15%, 16%. So inflation, we have seen that, right?
Correct.
So this is what the Americans did. You have printed the note, but you forgot to bring value to it.
Correct.
You are having a debt of $46 trillion. You are not in a position to service your debt. Forget about repayment. We are not even discussing repayment. We are unable to service your $46 trillion debt, right?
Okay.
This is the reality. You don't know what to do. You don't have a solution, right? This is what I see as a layman. I can see the entire American government is totally confused. They don't have a plan. There is nothing that you can sell to China. And the imbalance, they are blaming China. But it was the Americans only who went and invested in China and put those, plants and all the capitalists. The capitalists of the US went to the Chinese and invested there. And you became used to having cheaper goods. Today, whatever they are saying, even if you put those tariffs, even if you put 100%, he says, make America great again. God be with you. We wish that America should be great again, right? But then, manufacturing will not happen today immediately. Even if you want to install a plant, for the plant, the structures are required. It has to be fabricated, shipped, and it has to be installed. It will take time, boss. The decade didn't happen in one day. It happened over 2 decades.
Exactly.
You cannot turn back the clock of time overnight.
See, the economy of US runs with 60% consumer as a consumer economy. So they can never be a producer just like that, right? 60% consumer. So there's no production at all if you really look at. The most of the production happens outside US, and there was a simple reason. Back then, when they decided that they will not do any kind of blue collar jobs, they wanted to outsource anything that is of simple doing, and they only want to do anything to do with thinking. That's where they started shifting their focus.
Agreed to an extent, but again, if you go back in time, in the year 1930 to 33, the great economic depression of United States happened. The economy collapsed, everything went, entire industry collapsed, everything collapsed. After that depression, after that great economic depression, which is studied and all as a subject. So they came up with the idea that if we have to increase the manufacturing, we need to increase the consumption. That is how the society, which was hitherto a conservative society, just like ours, we as a society are born with the ideas of frugality, right? My father, my mother, my grandmother, it is handed over in generations, The frugality, and you should not be wasteful. If you need it, you buy it. You need it, you use it. You don't need it, don't buy.
Correct.
To the extent that there are things like wasting of food is the biggest thing, right? Across the cultures,
Right, agreed.
And here you have a society which, for the economic interest, has ingrained in the masses, you need to consume so that we can produce more, and the economic cycle can kickstart. When you reach a level, capitalism per se, capitalism and nationalism don't go together. They are two different philosophies. Capitalism is all about how money can get more returns. You cannot link that to a nationalistic fervor. No, it doesn't happen like that, right? So what has happened? The capitalistic mindset will always look for avenues where they can optimize, the production, and they can bring down the cost. They can maximize their profits.
Correct.
Right? More the profit, they'll be attracted. They are not interested in what happens to your balance of payments. Correct. Right? Mao Zedong's China and today's China is not the same. And it was made by courtesy of such American capitalists only.
Correct.
Right?
They wanted cheap labor.
Exactly.
They wanted to increase the profit. So they just outsourced it.
Again, one more thing I'll add here. See, after the World War II, if you look at the 3 big economies who came up fast, one was Japan, the biggest powerhouse. Till today, Japan holds the highest amount of treasury bonds of United States. Then South Korea and Germany. South Korea, after the 3-year Korean War, from 1950 to 53, the war was fought. Korea was literally bankrupt and poor and nothing was there, right? Americans invested and they used it as a hub and they made it grow. Japanese also, after the war only, they invested and they made it grow, and Japanese took it to their heart and they way ahead, right?
Correct.
Do you know that almost around the same time when the Americans were shifting to China, they realized the Japanese economy had reached American economy level. To maintain the hegemony, they told the Japanese, you restructure, you reduce the production, and you reduce your exports. It is like manipulating somebody else's economy to preserve your economy hegemony. Japan, it worked out. They didn't say, okay, fine, because we have benefited from this, we are doing it also. They agreed to that. And from that moment on, Japan's upward incline stopped. It became a plateau, and now it is on a slightly downward. They are very enterprising people. They are excellent people. But their economy is not moving ahead for the last 10 to 15 years. And those bases were shifted to
China.
China moved up. Now, the same situation has come when the Chinese economy is at the verge of nearing the American economy, and the hegemony seems to be. So the power play is over there. And what happens? How do you expect your balance of payments to improve. There is nothing that the Americans will make with the Chinese wants.
Correct.
Chinese are self-sufficient as a system, as a people, as a civilization.
Right. You name it, they have it.
China and India were front runners for thousands of years. There is very little that you can give to them.
Absolutely. Even take it India or China, they are front runners in most of this. But I'm in China, they're front runners in like almost everything,
Yes.
including technology.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
self-sufficient. They don't depend upon YouTube. They don't depend upon WhatsApp. They don't depend upon anything that is manufactured out of China. Any application that you have to use in China has to be made in China. Very simple. Point blank.
Yeah. So, if you ask me what is the root problem, this is the root problem. The balance of payments cannot be resolved. There is no solution to it. There is nothing which the Americans can sell to Chinese. And there is, of late they have started to sell ethane, out of US into, that's about it all and some little bit. But what has happened, the disbalance is so much. They are trying to make it correct. And the jobs, if you look at the creation of jobs data, this month ka data was very low. So overall the economy, if it has to revive on its own, it should have some job creation, right?
Correct.
Increasing of tariffs, how does it help? Well, I somehow, it foxes me. I don't get it. How will it help? Because now, for example, I was seeing on some YouTube or something like, Senator was asking bananas. Now on bananas, they have decided 10%, 15%, 20%. Thing went on, right? And the argument is that, no, we want it to be made in the USA. Senator asked, can you make banana in the USA? No. You will have to import it. It's a reality of life. You have to accept it.
Correct.
And then what has happened? In the bargain, while this chaos is on, Walmart was the first person to put 8% extra. Because Walmart says, why should I take the risk? We don't know. And today I feel sorry for the customs officials of USA because I wonder how they are calculating. Every second day some new thing is coming up, some new tariff or something else. How will they calculate? What is the reference point? Where is the mark? And how does it help?
People will be confused.
Yeah. And what will happen? Finally, the end user, the what do you call Aam Aadmi of USA, they will suffer. How does it alleviate their suffering? See, economic growth or decline is a slow process. It cannot be done overnight. And you are punishing everybody, including Brazil. Brazil has a favorable balance of payments with you. You have lost the plot. Brazil imports more from US than it exports to US. So you already have a favorable balance of payments. You should be rewarding them. You have put duty on them also. You lost it somewhere. So, this is going to be, this chaos will be there. And the entire world is in a very difficult phase, And, the way I look at it at a personal level is that the leadership crisis is there. Unfortunately, for the last 15, 20 years, everyone has spent from thin air, Like for money, it has to be, value has to be created. You cannot just print money because you have a printing press, you print it. Unfortunately, everybody has done. See, the printing of currency and infusing in the system works as a temporary opium. It can help reduce your pain for the short term. But the opium cannot cure your disease. It is only an opium. A dose of it can help you reduce the pain, temporary pain, right? So for that matter, you see, even we are also, overly indebted, but we are a big country. Our internal domestic consumption is huge. For us, yes, this tariffs will impact temporarily. See, once you have reached 25% level, people are saying initially it was 25, then he has made 50. We should have agreed for that and all. It should have been better. No. See, because after a point, the thing loses viability.
Correct.
So for Indians, anything above 15-20% is unviable. Whether you make 50 or you make 200 or you make 2000%, we lost it there itself. So the viability gap, whatever was there, and accordingly we have adjusted our currency rates also. Currency also has been devalued. That will also mitigate. So almost around 15 to 20% like we are okay. But beyond that, whether it is 21% or 21% doesn't make a difference. We have lost interest. And this will backfire big time. This is only creating more instability. This will not help. You have to work at more robust ways of getting back the growth and all. So far your focus was only on the arms, ammunition exports and food crane sector. US was known for innovation. That's somewhere in between it has been lost. For India, we are worried about the pharmaceutical industry. Without Indian pharma, they cannot work. The normal person in USA cannot buy medicines. It is the pharma of India which is taking care of the majority of the... Let us be honest about it. Let us be grateful. Indian pharma companies are doing a fantastic job. They are able to keep it in, a reachable, reasonable levels.
Correct.
See, whether I am rich or poor, I have right to live. I have right to medicine. It's a basic right. Whichever nationality you are, wherever you are, my right to live cannot be made smaller or bigger. You should not be doing this as a superpower that you claim to be. You should not be doing this to your own people.
Right.
So this is not fair. What they have lost. I just pray to God that they have the good sense. Maybe they will, because this is not going to work. We all know. If the world knows, it will not work. It's just a matter of...
It's just some intermittent...
Yeah. But yes, at least Americans... see, whatever all said and done, Americans are important to the world economy. And they are a great country. There's no doubt about it. And the American people are enterprising. But thing is that somewhere in between they lost, successive... See, what I strongly am a believer in, is that the normal people on the ground, whether he's in Australia, Japan, India, anywhere on earth or in America, he has the same issues. He has to feed his family. He has to educate his child. He has to take care of himself in his old age. That's all. This does not change at all. Right? Rather, what has happened is that, and every local, system has its own way of dealing with it. For example, people say in US you have this pensions are there and all that is there. Right? It is not workable. That dole and welfare, what they talk about, right?
Right.
That will work only in a particular situation where the people earning and paying taxes are higher than the people taking this
Correct.
benefits. In India, it cannot work only for 140 crore people. We are 1.4 billion people. We cannot have such a formula. So our society already had the insurance of a family. Father will take care of son, son will take care of father. And this story will continue.
Correct.
Unfortunately, now we are aping the West. That formula will not fit for us.
Correct.
This is where we as a society are going off track. See, it's fine. I'm very much okay with their formula for them. This formula doesn't work for us. It is not for us. There's nothing wrong in it, but it's not meant for me. The consumerism which is being encouraged in our country,
Right now.
Yeah, it is a serious challenge for the entire globe. See, the Western world can say, your quality of life is below ours. Why? Because I have one car per home, per family. You have one car for 100 or maybe 200, whatever people are there, right? Imagine we as Indians, we are 1.4 crore people, if we change one cell phone in every 10 years also.
1.4 billion. So it's like...
Can you imagine what we'll do to this earth? If you start putting TVs in our houses, we had, one family, one TV, concept was there. Family was good. We had family time together. Now we are aping the West. I want my own TV. You want your own TV. We got 3 TVs in the house. Imagine if 1.4 crore Indians, even if 0.0000, whatever zero you want to put, you put 1% does this. What is the impact?
Huge. There will be lots of electronic waste that will start generating.
Imagine, and we are telling it is not yet, penetration levels are low and this is low. God, do this maths and check. World will be finished by us only.
But this is also creating a lot of psychological pressure on people.
Yes.
A lot of people are getting into the new word called depression.
Yes. Yeah.
Why? Because they're all alone.
Yeah.
They're trying to fancy the West and try to live that lifestyle here, which will not work. You'll have to live like Indians.
Yes.
You'll have to live like people.
I recollect when I was in Japan, during sailing the 20 years back also, they used to say, you guys are very good. People appreciate our way of life. And they said, okay, here now you get, if you are alone, you can hire somebody. You want a brother, he can... Per hourly basis, he can be your brother. You want a father, he can be hourly basis father. I was like, really? And they said, we don't want to get married because we are not sure if we can carry the burden and the aspiration of our lifestyle. We cannot manage that, maintain that.
That's the biggest problem right now. So even in South Korea, this is happening. Even in, of course, in Japan, it started 2 decades ago. In South Korea, this is happening recently. That, see, what will happen when you try not to cascade your gene to the next level, which means you're mutating. You are just stopping there. You're killing yourself. Basically, when you copulate, you're going to create a new species of your same gene, right? That is not happening anymore. The female can decide to pass on the gene all by herself without a need of a male. That's what the technology has brought you today. And the male cannot do that. Even whatever happens, the male cannot do pass on a gene without the help of a female, right? But this is where we are standing right now, where it is slowly coming in like a virus that people are not getting ready to marry. They don't want to cascade their gene to the next level. Meaning they don't want to create the next, or the female is not ready to take the male. The male is not ready to take the female. There's a whole bunch of things that's happening. Female today, they say they're much happy to live with a, or there is a question that there's a survey that had been asked. Will you be feeling safe with a bear in the forest or a man in the forest? Most of them have selected bear in the forest.
Where have we reached?
So which means they have some social stigma has been kicked in. People are not perceiving it in the right sense. There's a huge imbalance.
Yeah.
When 2 decades ago, when there were lots of support for the female feminism, and I mean, I'm not against feminism. I love it. I love the female gender. They have their own powers to execute. But imagine a female has the authority to decide if she can pass on the gene all by herself. Male does not have an authority. Male does not have an authority. No matter whatever it is. Even if you say the king of the world, if the female thinks you can pass on the gene, that's where we are. And people not realizing this, they are telling they can live all alone. They will be
strange. That's
yes.
very.
I'm. It's somewhere saddens me when things in the West are influencing here a lot. So, from where we started, where we ended.
This is the flow.
Right.
The American tariffs you're talking about.
So I would want to ask you more about overall. Have you ever seen a war happening when you were sailing, and was it?
Oh yes.
Have you been impacted?
War.
Like I will want to cite out a few examples, especially this Red Sea crisis that was happening, where the tribes were shooting straight onto the ships of US or right. You know what all happened, what all kind of damages happened. Yeah.
See, the earlier wars and all, when you used to go to Rastanura, used to be our home port. Regularly we used to go to Rastanura to load. Occasionally we used to go to Kuwait and all. During that Iran-Iraq war, what has happened? They have put a lot of seabed mines, underwater mines.
Oh.
So, and the process of removing and de-mining is on. That time also it was on. And they had put a lot of... And the American vessels were there. The mine sweepers and all were there picking out. And all. It's a long process. Not easy, right? Even if one is left, when the vessel will come, it will explode and the vessel will die. So, and we as merchant shipping people, we enjoy the immunity of the world, It is the right of innocent passage is enshrined in the United Nations Clause of Sea. And clause clearly states that right of innocent passage is there. It can be war anywhere on earth, but a merchant vessel is allowed right of innocent passage. Innocent passage means I'll not your side or his side. I'm not carrying any weapons or anything for you all, but I'm carrying my trade and I'm moving on. That is enshrined in the laws itself. And this has been there for ages.
Wow.
Merchant ships were not attacked ever. Never. It is sad to see that some people are finding it fun and a way to penalize somebody for some reason. Even if you want to penalize the owner, the person on the vessel is not the owner, he's a worker. He's a people like you and me over there. A lot of people died recently on the Eternity Sea. It was very sad. So, and those days also we used to worry because we are carrying oil tanker and God forbid if, some mine is left or it has been, because underwater currents are there. Something is uprooted and it flows to some other area. It can happen. There's a remote possibility, but it can happen. So we used to worry about that. And I have been to Basra in Iraq. And I met those people. I've talked to them and all. Iraq was super rich area. Iraqis would never take gift from you. Iraqis would give gift to you.
Right.
I used to talk to the pilots and I had seen the decay. Every consecutive time you can see the drop. They had free medical, free education, free everything. And they said, forget the oil. The greenery that we have, the Tigris and Euphrates that we have, the dates that we sell is enough for us. Forget about the oil. This was their approach, their way of life. And I also saw a day when an Iraqi pilot used to ask for, give me one soft drink. We used to offer him. He will not drink. He'll take it for his
children.
Imagine what you did to that proud people. Those they are immense pride. They are very proud people. This is what happened. So the war and how it helped, I don't know. Till today that Iraq has not stabilized.
Right.
Show me one area where the war has yielded the results that you wanted.
Nowhere. See, it happens like this. First they create the war and then they say the reasons for the war. But war normally happens between two people, not between two nations. It's just the two people.
That's all. It's an ego between two people and the people are
And
paying a price.
they just create the stories around it. They just create the stories around it.
That's all.
And
when
people believe the stories.
Yes. Sadly enough, yes.
People believe the stories. They don't know why they are fighting,
Yeah.
but they just fight.
So, that was one episode in the beginning of my career. Then as a master, when I was transiting from this Somalia area, so we used to pick up these armed guards and all. And we used to pick it up from the Muscat and the area and used to come with us for the voyage and they'll get. So, and every time that's huge. It was a very expensive, super expensive is the word I'll use here. So now what used to happen that like on one voyage, these 3 guards came. And I found that one of them did not have a leg and all. He was from, they were all ex-veterans of the Iraq war and all.
Oh.
Right. So informal discussion, I had and I asked them and all. Without a leg also, with one leg, he's able to climb up and do all that, do his drill and all. Well trained, very nice guys, And, laughingly he told, to be honest, Captain, I don't know what I was doing then. But now I know I'm feeding family.
Okay.
So this is the short and long of it. I said, okay, fine. And they will do the shooting practice and all that. If the pirates will come, we will shoot and all that. I started smiling, I started smiling, Why are you smiling? You don't trust us? I trust you very much. But tell me, I'm on a 250 meter long vessel, 50 meters broad, 21 meters deep, and my cargo is aviation turbine fuel. And that guy, he has to close his eyes and take a shoot with a RPG. It does not even have to get it right anywhere. We cannot shoot. You also know, as per the law, you cannot shoot till you have enough reason to,
Right.
to arms. He has to take a pot shot anywhere. That's all.
Hand blast. That's it.
So you really think that, that is law, what do you mean? Well, see, in India, Rakhe hari mare hari rakhe ke. If God wants you to live, no one will kill you. If God wants you gone, you're gone.
Gone. That's it.
No one can save you. So having said that, it's very sad that these things, have reached this level and they are not, they should have finished, And now the Red Sea issue. The biggest irony of all things is the Houthi rebel. The Houthi is a Hassan Houthi is a person. That person stood up for a rightful
Cause.
cause, right? He stood up because he felt that it was being, they were, within the country, he was unhappy with the government. Every people have their own issues. So, okay, I'll not comment on that. But he stood for a cause that he thought right. But the fact that today they are attacking ships of innocent people, we have done nothing to them. As a seafarer, it pains. Instead of those Filipinos who got killed, it could have been me also.
Right.
It could have been me also. What harm have we done? Rather, all the aid as on today, all the aid to Yemen is being, brought in by vessels only from across the world. Sadly enough, what is even more saddening is the world seems to be, divided on this. Like, I will ensure safety of my vessel. So this is strange, because merchant vessels are not armed. They cannot protect themselves. Now each one says, I will take care of my flag vessels, my interests. We are entering into a very different era. That is very saddening and depressing. So that apart, I on that vessel only, when I was in Damascus, we were offloading, we were discharging diesel, HSD, we had gone for one trip. And beautiful smell, it was, the SBM was 1 mile from the shoreline. And you could get smell and fragrance of khabus, freshly baked bread and beautiful smell. I was like just feeling that, if there was some way that I could go there. Suddenly in the middle of the night, what happened? Then you're wondering, I asked the pilot on board. He said, don't worry, they are on the heights, they are playing games. What games? You don't know? The war is on. The war never ended. They're fighting. All. Just imagine the same place. We could hear, we could literally, because 1 mile from shore is nothing. Whenever the wind is blowing, it is bringing the voices also,
Yes.
You can feel people are alive and people are enjoying and people are having food and good food and all that. You want to be there. And suddenly, in the hills, and this guy says, okay, chill. This is okay. This guys are shooting. It's become a way of life.
That's hurting.
It's become a way of life.
Where do you see India in terms of executing its power in logistics?
India was always a superpower. India remains a superpower. It depends how you define it, how you look at it. Coming to logistics, it's a paradoxical situation also. Whereas, we are the country, we are celebrating Zomatos and Swiggies and all the startups and all are there and they're doing fantastic e-commerce and all. They're doing a good
I
job.
have another perspective towards
Yeah,
it.
but whether it's working out or burning money is another thing. But idea-wise, okay, we have gone to that micro level. On the other side, we are operating PSLV Mark III, which is carrying 150 satellites in one go.
Correct.
So India is beyond anybody's definition. If me, you, or for that matter, all of us also were to jointly try to define India, it is beyond our collective imagination. Coming to where we stand in terms of logistics, some people did some research and the number was that as on date it stands at something like $850 billion worth of logistics business services is being generated in India, right? And the looking ahead, they say that for the next, by 2030, we should be the range of 1.2 billion, which is like a growth of 6.5% year on year. That's great.
That's great.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a great number.
So 6.5% year on year and 850 billion to 1.2 billion. And this again, when it comes to India, this again is only the regular economy, regular business that you're talking of. We are yet to evaluate the parallel economy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, India for the next 15-20 years, whatever curve you draw, whatever parameters you take, the graph is going to be above 45 degrees only. It is not going to go in the negative zone and all. You don't need to be a mathematician, an economist and all. Nothing.
Right.
This is what I.
What's your take on artificial intelligence?
See, the idea of AI sounds good. There's a lot of fear mongering and all, and AI will do a lot of things. It will disrupt, right? It'll disrupt, but disruption can be controlled, can be channeled, can be mobilized. Disruption need not always be seen as a negative element only, right? We are saying that AI will take away the jobs and all. In our field, we need AI.
Right.
We need help.
Correct.
It can never replace us. AI cannot do the decision making for you. AI cannot do the risk processing in you. AI at the best can run the scenario for you. They can run the risk parameters for you. They can give as per the parameters fed by you. Your parameters and my parameters need not be the same.
Right.
So when both of us are working on a joint venture, we are doing some movement or some cargo lift or some Odyssey shift, we will be doing real time, we'll be discussing and doing something.
Correct.
There is no way no AI can gauge what Sai is thinking and no AI can think what Capt is thinking. There cannot be an AI of that sort any day. What AI can do is they can make our lives easier and simpler. They can generate and run a lot of data for us.
Correct.
Statistics for us. That okay, if this was the A, if this was the wind, because a lot of parameters. Stevedoring for that matter, has lost big on this because we never maintained a data set. Every trip, every new cargo was one experience. And your experience remained with you.
Yeah.
It never became a part of the team or a part of the legacy or a part of a bigger book which could have been handed over to somebody.
I think this podcast itself we started because we want to document all these things. Where right now we don't have a place where we can go and search for stevedoring.
Yeah.
We don't know what happens in logistics. People know the terminology logistics, but they don't know what happens in logistics. They don't know what a vessel agent is all about. They don't know what stevedoring is all about. They don't know what CH is all about. Nothing. They just know something they book in China, they get it in India. They don't know what happens in between.
And imagine the neglect of it.
And you're talking about something $850 billion logistics that's happening in India.
And which is not yet accounted.
We are just talking about the accounted part
of it.
There is a lot happening unaccounted, which nobody can even imagine.
That is why whenever anybody does a forecast on Indian economy, it has to be taken only 50% because other half you don't know.
So,
coming back to this
AI.
Training part, AI part, on the training aspect that you raised, very valid point. When I was in Vishakhapatnam container terminal, there somebody asked that, they were running a training program. Mm-hmm. That was the first time I realized that there is no institute in India to train a operator. There is no stevedoring institute.
Correct.
There is no academy which teaches you how to rig, how to hook, how to unhook, what is SWL and all.
Right.
Mariners are taught from the vessel perspective.
Correct.
So they knew the game, but the thing should have been passed on. I want the last man standing should also understand the maths of it. At least what he is putting, what should be, what should be the SWL, how it matters. That
The
he should
rigors are
understand.
not. Yeah, you're
and,
right.
And above all, it is all out of practice. It is all out of experience they have, which is super rich. But why don't we put it as a part of a curriculum? Why don't we design a course for them? Why don't we have a certification for that?
Somewhere I feel deep down that engineers should be a part of the stevedoring community because engineers have that calculation ability on how to calculate a load, how to lift a particular load, in which direction it has to be lifted, how the wind has to be calculated. A lot of calculation can still happen if an engineer is present in a stevedoring company.
That agreed. Even for the entry level people also, there should be a training program. It can be designed to know that the basics, he should not stand under the load.
But Captain, tell me something. You also know what at what cost the stevedoring company runs in.
That's L1. I told you. L1 model is the killer of all innovation.
Correct.
For innovation, you need to have some, whatever earnings you do, a portion of it should be kept aside for innovation, a portion for training. That is how you will also move ahead.
It's very simple. I would cite the example of our own vessel which we did recently. If not for the little bit of engineering that I had, I don't think we would have completed the vessel in so much. Which on a normal way, if we could have done it, we would have gone for 4 shifts, which we are talking about minimum more than 24 hours, right? And just for that one hatch that we were talking about 130 plus packages, where every sling will be like maximum slings that can happen was 50 slings in a shift. So with all that, 2.5 shifts easily. What we did some application of brain, we did some innovation of thought, started doing in parallel, engaging more equipments. I think you need that kind of brains in this industry to make it more efficient.
And sad part is that trade has to learn the calculation fully.
Right.
1 day saved should be multiplied with the vessel's freight hire.
Yes. Not just a freight hire, the vessel berth hire.
Yeah. And you add up all that and then you realize what difference the stevedore has done.
Correct.
Because otherwise what happens, you think, okay, they brought this guy, okay, somehow they took it off. And no, that is not how it is impacting you.
Every single hour that's saved is a big saving for the liner.
Money saved is money earned.
Correct.
Quantum has to be seen. And the faster turnaround helps the vessel, helps the port. And as a country, we are having limited resources. We have to work on optimum utilization of resources.
Absolutely. And I think you put it right. We don't have an institute to teach all these things. We don't have a place where people can learn all these things. At least I will be an avenue to teach all these things through this. Let's see. This is a...
Because, it should be formalized, because then what happens now is, suppose even we are investing in training the people, but then because it does not have a formal certificate, next time when he goes somewhere else, no one is going to trust him. No, they'll say, "Arey, you're just saying like that." Whether you know or no, how do we know? But once he has a certificate, it becomes... And this was asked to me by a principal. He said, "You are putting these crane operators on my vessel. Are they certified? I want a certified." And I was struggling from where will I get a certified crane operator?
But is there an institute across the world?
The Europeans have it. The Americans have it.
Specifically for stevedoring?
Yeah, they have all this stevedoring and cargo handling and all, because this is a rewarding field, Unfortunately, what is happening, we are looking it as a low. See, in Hong Kong and all, what they do, they get the college people to do the stevedoring and all.
College people?
College people. In Hong Kong, Anchorage, Lama Patch, you will see these youngsters will come with bags. They will do the handling of the containers and all at Anchorage, because only, above X moves, you are allowed to come inside. For smaller exchanges, you have to be out only. Full Anchorage is full. Hong Kong does so much of business. Anchorage is full. And that Anchorage, they will come with a barge crane. One guy will operate like zoom, he'll be doing it. Other fellow will be jumping around, putting twist locks, tuck, college guys. But they also have some sort of small certificate, whether you are trained for that. The basics at least, so that you keep yourself safe and the other guys also safe. Because you're putting a lot of property, life, assets at risk, right? So some amount of basic training is there required, which should be certified and documented.
Where do you see the future of maritime industry?
Historically, whatever trade, business, your country's power in terms of geopolitics, maritime route is the route by which you establish all. India was a maritime superpower way back. It is time we regain our position in the world order. So it will take some time. It will not happen overnight. Yes, a concerted effort is needed from all of us. This is not the time when I have to compete with you and all. Let us collaborate. Let us work out solutions. Let us empower people, enable people, act as enabler. See, with if I like it says, if I want to do charity, I should do a charity of enablement so that he can feed himself every day.
Perfect.
But feeding you one day will not help. One day I can give you biryani, but doesn't help, right? If I can enable you to even have kanji rice every day, I would have done. Because then you are assured that you will never die of hunger.
That's powerful.
That is where we have to reach.
One thing I've strongly learnt is collaboration. I love collaborating, but I think it's re-emphasizing for me right now. So tell me something. Little bit imagination is required. If you want to write a letter to your 19-year-old self just before joining the Maritime, right now with the current maturity, what would you write?
You're taking me back in time,
With the current maturity, you'll have to write to the old guy.
Okay. I would say that whatever people you are meeting and your relationships, preserve them. I made lot of wonderful friends, a lot of girlfriends also on the way. I learned a lot of Spanish because of my girlfriend. I learned a bit of Arabic because of
I hope your wife does not watch this segment.
No, we are. So that was a time, and trust me, I could reasonably speak very good Spanish because I was doing Mexico and Chile run, and I was able to do my office interaction with work interaction and all I could do. And I learned a lot about their culture from them, their food, and made good friends. Right. Similarly, I was on a chemical vessel doing Morocco, India. We had a lot of friends over there. So, this is how I had friends in Portside, Egypt. I was at one point of time, I was big fan of all the Arabic singers.
Oh, okay.
Nancy Ajram was my favorite. Walid Tawfiq was there, Bin Khalid was there. There are plenty of them.
Bin Khalid, okay.
Because once you do that route and all, you see the culture, you love the music, and you like the people and warm people. Everywhere, the normal person is just like you and me.
Exactly.
Absolutely no difference.
Yeah. Absolutely no difference.
Absolutely no difference.
Any country I travel, I don't see a huge difference between a person and person. They are exactly the same. Just that the culture has slightly varied them from what we are. End of the day, they are humans. They need the same basic requirements plus intellectual requirements. That's it.
So that relationship, if you can preserve it and keep it alive, that will be your strength.
So I have a few rapid fire questions to you.
Please.
Favorite port in the world?
Sydney. That was my first foreign port, and I went to see the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House. And can you believe it? If I tell you, you'll laugh your heads off. My salary was 1,340 rupees per month. It was my stipend, and I could not afford it. With that money, I hitchhiked from the vessel to the port gate.
Okay.
Port Kembla. From the port gate, somebody, the stevedore, he dropped me at Wollongong, told me you buy a railway ticket and you go, it's easy, don't worry about all that. He told me all the directions and all, bought a ticket over there, right? And they already had those automated ticket machines over there.
Back then.
I was looking for a ticket counter, I could not find. Then I asked a lady. Then she thought I was joking. Then I said, no, I'm not from here, so you need to tell me how. Just come. Because I saw everyone was doing and able to take it. I was struggling, what I'm supposed to. Then I took her help, she told me. And I spent the trains were cheap. I bought the ticket and then I boarded the train. There were a lot of school children. So we had a discussion with them, how it's and all. They told me the train took me to Sydney Harbour and she had advised me where to get off. And unfortunately what happened, I was supposed to get off on this side of the Harbour Bridge. I went off on the other side. So when I came out, it was automated, the ticket. The alarm started ringing. Police fellow called me. I told, and he told, I know, don't worry. You just catch the other train and you get off over there. Here I can't allow you. It's a violation. You have made a mistake. It's fine. You just take the train back and go over the bridge. So I got a free ride on the bridge. Other part I got caught. I came back. Then I went back over there and then I went to the Opera House area, and Opera House is amazingly beautiful. The Harbour Bridge, the view of the Opera House from the bridge and of the bridge from the Opera House, amazing.
There's one friend of mine, whenever I talk to him about vacations or places to visit, he talks in so much of fine detail that it makes me feel as if I had already traveled there and come back with my own imagination. And you made me feel exactly the same.
This part was I was very hungry and I could not afford a meal, right? So, and I went to a shop, a cake shop. I thought I'll take some pastry and all. And I'm a hardcore vegetarian. So then I realized the price. Then I told it's too expensive. Don't you think so? They said, okay, you should go to that shop. That's a supermarket. There you buy it. I bought the same stuff there. It was less than half. That is the difference. I realized that why, like it is just hardly 100 yards away and the rate is like hell heaven. So I bought apples. They have green apples and all those fruits and all. I ate enough. Did the trip, came back and again went on work.
I know you're vegetarian, but I would like to ask you this. Best food that you've had on the ship?
Ship, every food is good food because you are so goddamn hungry. Yeah, I had one good chef from best part is now out at sea at the beginning of my career. Most of the chefs were from Goa, right? So all those,
Goan chefs.
Yeah,
Goan
chefs
cuisine
would
is
be
like, yeah.
So one Goan fellow, he used to make, he was a Bhandari mate on Chhatrapati Shivaji. I was on oil tanker. He used to make very good parathas. They had a separate, I used to love his. Then one fellow was there from Allahabad. Majority I got was from Allahabad. Near to Allahabad, there's a village called Phulpur. Majority of the cooks are from there, chefs, So his name was Muhammad Hanif or something like that. So he was there. Forgetting his son sailed with me on other vessel. I was in master. His son was chief cook.
Chief cook, okay.
So before joining itself, he told, sir, मुझे पता है आप क्या खाते हैं. हम लोग यार, I'm not so famous. Then I know कि मेरे वालिद ने बताया. So his father had told him because before joining he knew Capt. Mishra. I've sailed with him. So their love is there, and the Indian concept of vegetarian is a very alien concept for the world. Because for us, vegetarian means it should not come in contact with any kind of non-veg. That has landed up in a lot of troubles for me, because Filipinos and all, they wonder, vegetarian? What does that mean?
Is there something of that kind?
Yeah,
really?
yeah. What is it? And, our city should not get touched also. So he used to take care and he used to make wonderful malai paneer, malai kofta, variety of Mughlai dishes and all veg he'll make. And lastly, one Giri was there. He was from Kachila. He used to make variety of, everybody has his own expertise, I used to love it. The only thing is that on a vessel, first 15 days from once you depart, you'll get fresh vegetables and all. After 15 days, you should not go to the veg room and all. I'll be in a bad shape. But yeah, that's it. Fun.
One book or a movie that you love?
There is one movie which is, the story of the Robin Hood thing that William Tell in all his avatars. I love that movie. There's one Freedom movie, that's wording the name. This guy, it's like William Tell only. Basically, I love these war movies which are chivalry, and so there are a lot of war movies. Not for the sake of war, for the sake of what human can endure. And World War movies, they teach you about endurance and what human is capable of doing to each other. On one part, it educates how wrong you can be, right? On the other side, it educates how resilient you can be.
Right.
So, and it teaches you what you should not be, like what should not fog your mind, Clarity of thought and perception should always be.
Perfect. One quote you live by?
There is one Shairi of Ghalib,
Okay.
So I read a little bit of Faiz and Ghalib and all. So it goes like, okay, the meaning is like this.
No, you can go ahead, quote the Shairi, okay. It's okay.
The meaning is like that all my life I kept on wiping the mirror, right? I was looking at myself. All my life I was wiping the mirror. But the darkness was not on the mirror, it was on me. Wow. So whenever what I feel is that whenever I say something bad or something negative or I put the blame on someone else, I should give a look at myself. Maybe, for all I know, I am just wiping the mirror.
Correct.
Maybe the dust is on me, not the mirror.
Great, brilliant. That was lovely, Captain. Thank you so much for being here.
It's wonderful being with you.
It was wonderful. I enjoyed thoroughly. There were lots of insights. I think the people who are watching also would have embraced these insights. Thank you so much once again.
It's wonderful.
Lovely.
It's always nice to be here with you. Great.
Podcast with Sai. This podcast is all about shipping, logistics, and how the industry works. I am Sai, and I'm here to share insights and stories from the world of shipping.